All right. Hey there. Hey, this is Mike, and I'm back. I'm back live with my countdown to Ironman Louisville. I'm on day 69. I have 69 days left, and that is almost 70 days, which is almost 3 months, but it's not quite 3 months. You know what I mean? It's like almost 25 days times three, but not quite. So here's what's going down. I have been working hard. I've been training slowly but surely and building some good momentum. Yesterday, I hit Natchez Trace for probably my biggest ride of the year. It was only 56 miles, but it was for about 4,000 feet in climbing. So, and I took it not super easy. I climbed hard, and I took the rest of it kind of easy. It was about 320, I think, on the all told. But the good news is I felt good, and that was after a big swim on Saturday. So, okay, so now yesterday, so what I was thinking, and if you saw our podcast today, you're gonna kind of like get a grip on what we're talking about with regard to days off and how. So what I was thinking over these last 2 days was somewhat of a little block, and it turned out to be almost like a half Ironman block, which was 56 miles on the bike yesterday. We did the podcast this morning, and then I went swimming afterwards, swam for about 3,000 meters in the pool, and then took so that was, I mean, it was almost about 24 hours later. So I consider that almost a day rest. So, and then I just got back running now, and it's like 8:50, but I got done at running about 8:30. So I went out running about 6, and I ran, I guess, an hour 30, and it was close to 10 miles. And so I see what you're looking at. You're looking at that whiteboard back there. And so I think, sometimes that helps me explain things. And I've been getting a lot of questions about the 10:17 run and how it's doing and how you do it, how you focus on it. And listen, all jokes aside, this thing has been a game changer for me because it's forced me to slow down. And it is, I don't know, it's just been treating me. I thought about it yesterday on the ride, because I felt like I was a little stronger than normal. And I think it's because I'm doing longer, slower runs that aren't killing me. So let's take a look at the 10:17 run and dissect it with the anatomy of the 10:17. Basically, I started this because I do believe in, probably like 4 out of 5 times that I would ever run in training, I would always go too fast, and I would get done and I would be kind of fried. I would be depleted in a not so healthy way, and I would wake up limping the next day. And I was like, man, I just, it's not fun, right? So how can I force myself to go slow? So I invented what I like to think of as a 10:17 run. And basically how I came up with it is I took my 10K pace, which was about 7:30, like race pace. That was my best is actually faster, but I took 7:30 and I kind of just multiplied it times something and came up with 10, whatever that multiplier is. And that multiplier can be used for yours. So you maybe 11, 18. And then I added 7 minutes. So what happens is, let's say I'm going out, this is miles. Let's say I'm going out for tonight. Like I went out for about, turned out to be close to 10 miles. And it was an out and back. So what I did was the first 5 miles, I stuck by the 10:17. And I've been doing this for well over a month now. What I'll do is I'll try and keep it as close to 10 as possible. And every quarter mile on the markers on the greenway, I'll look at my watch, and if it's below 10, I slow to a walk until my pace hits 17, and then I start running again, and I get it back down. And if I hit the mile marker and I'm 10 to 10:05 to 10:20 or whatever, I just keep running. So sometimes I'll stop and I'll walk. I mean, it's usually like 10, 15 seconds or whatever. And then I'll do, kind of that. So then I got out to the 5-mile mark, and I did something a little bit different because I realized that, my pace when I got to the 5-mile mark was 10:20 for the first 5 miles. That was my overall pace. And then I thought, well, I have 69 days left. So what I'm going to try to do is like inch it down over the time. And so on the way back, with the negative split in mind, I lowered this is the first time I've really done this in about a month, where I've lowered my floor to 9:45. So I'm running out here, and if I'm below 9:45, I slow down till 16, 17 minute pace, and I'll come back. Anyway, long story short, I got done, and my overall pace at the end was something like 10:02. So 10:02 for 10 miles. And the good news is I felt stronger at the end, and that is my whole goal, right? So I really did at the end think to myself, man, I could keep this. I could like do this again and maybe do a 9:30. So this is the plan, right? So over the next 69 days, well, avoiding taper or whatever, but kind of like as I get close, I'm going to start bringing this down maybe to 9:30, and maybe do like my long run might be 15 miles or something. I might do a 10 and a 9:45 and a 9:30. But so for example, if I get in the race, I think what I'll do is I'll stick to the 10:17 out of the gate for the first 13 miles. But then as I get stronger, hopefully over these next 2.5 months, my floor is going to go down a little bit, so I can actually take this race and dissect it into maybe like 4-mile increments, where I'm possibly, this is a very hypothetical thing, but ideally maybe I go 10-minute pace for the first 4 miles, and then the next 4 or 5 miles I look at 9:45, and then I do the same thing, right? So I mean, ideally, I don't want to be at the turnaround. If I want to shoot for a 9-minute pace, for example, I don't want to be at the turnaround like too close to 10, because that'll be really difficult to get that down. So I'd like to be in the 9:30 to 9:20 range, and then maybe, just maybe, I can turn that in the last 8 miles, and put it over the hump. So the reason I came up with the 10:17, it's basically this zone 2 running. And I don't know all the formulas. I don't have a heart rate monitor, and I don't do all this stuff, and I haven't done VO2 max or any of that kind of stuff. But I just basically sort of simplified it and took my 10K pace, multiplied it by whatever equals 10, and 730 times whatever. And it just simplifies it for me. So, and I find that it works. Every once in a while, I'll check my heart rate, kind of vaguely, and it's like in the, it's definitely zone 2. I'm 125 or 120 or something like that, and it really is been unbelievable. The thing that was unbelievable to me tonight was I biked so hard yesterday. I woke up today, and my legs were like, day off, bro, day off. And I went out tonight after a 3,000 swim at noon, and by all accounts, I was going to go out 20 minutes and come back, and I ended up going hour and a half or more, actually, because I did 48 minutes on the way out, and then 45 minutes on the way back, or something like that. So it was a negative split for almost 10 miles. And like right now, my legs feel, I just, towards the end there, I felt like, I know it's not anywhere near an Ironman or anything like that, but there's still 2 months to go. And the way this thing has been sort of snowballing on top of each other, I'm pretty optimistic about what's going down. What's up, Ramiro? anyway, that's the 10-17 run, and you can apply it to your situation. And I really know that it's fun. It's fun to talk about. And when you see me at Louisville, you're going to be shot 10-17 because I am going to be doing 10-17 in the race for at least the first 3 miles, maybe up to 5, because there is something magical about going at a pace where your legs can say, all right, what's going on? And they can figure it out and they can wake up without just like slamming into the run. And I mean, that's been my whole goal, right? Because my hamstrings have blown up in every Ironman I've done basically at about mile 9. And so tonight, mile 9, not that this is a total indicator, but, you know, it is after a pretty hard ride yesterday. And I still, like I said, have 2.5, over 2 months, a little over 2 months to kind of build it up. And I'm also doing a couple other things for my core and lower back that have been phenomenal. If you have back problems, I just want you to email me at crushingiron@gmail.com if you have mid or low back problems and have been chronic, like I have over the last, I don't know, forever. I mean, honest to God, and I've been working a couple different simple things that for about a week now have really changed the game for me. So, you know, I especially cater to older gentlemen and women like myself that have that low back problem, that mid back. Mine was mid back. It was literally right in the middle of the back. It was just incredibly sore and inflamed all the time, and to the point where I was really thinking, I need to get a new mattress. I tried sleeping on different mattresses. I tried sleeping on the floor, air mattress, you name it, and no real luck. But over the last week or so, this is just, I don't know, maybe it's psychosomatic, but it feels like it's working, and it feels like the 10-17 is working. And I've also, like tomorrow, I'm pretty stoked about what I'm discovering in my swim. I mean, 3,000 meters, that's like pretty big deal for me, considering I swam 2,500 Saturday at the lake. Today's Monday, so that's 2 days with 2,500 and 3,000. And I'm figuring out some stuff with the swim too. And I think the mentality stems from the 10-17 run about all this stuff. So anyway, I hope to flush it out more as we go. I hope there's something in there that benefits you. And I would love to hear from you at crushingiron@gmail.com. Check out the podcast, Crushing Iron Podcast, on Apple Podcast. I've heard that it was called Apple Podcast. It's iTunes, whatever you want to call it. Stitcher, it's on YouTube. All podcasts go to YouTube as well. And anyway, I will see you tomorrow. I think I'm going to go tomorrow from Facebook in our group. So maybe around noonish. So we'll let you know. All right. Thanks.